practice solution for one of the problems discussed in the Conditionals and Class Constants tutorial. And this is the solution for the paper, rock, scissors problem. So the goal is to write a paper, rock, scissors program. And in it, you're going to write a method that takes in two players' moves and returns who is the winner of a game of paper, rock, scissors. The return options are player 1 wins or player 2 wins, with an explanation of why they won, and in the case of a tie, to return tie game. The ways to win are rock beats paper, paper covers rock, and scissors cuts paper, and you should use constants for paper, rock, and scissors that are string values. And you should call the method from the main with hard-coded values and print the results enough times to convince yourself it works. So I'm going to right-click on Conditionals and Class Constants and do New Java Class and call it Rock, Paper, Scissors. And right-click to make that go away. Public, static, void, main, string, args to start. Okay, so I want class constants for the 3 paper, rock, scissors, right? And they should all be strings. So I'm going to do final private string paper equals paper. Final private string rock equals rock. Final private string paper, scissors equals scissors. So using these variables will get rid of any case questions, and it'll make for sure that I know what I'm doing in each part of my check for the method. Okay, so this is going to return a string, right? Because it returns who won with an explanation. So public static string determine winner. And it's going to take in string player 1, string player 2. There we go. Okay. So, again, it's missing a return statement. So I'm going to say string winner equals return winner. And actually, I can do a couple different things. I can do it like this and set winner as part of my if statements, or I can just return straight from inside my if statements. So I'm going to go ahead and return straight from inside my if statements. So if player 1 dot equals player 2, return tie game. Else, if player 1 dot equals rock and so this is saying that non-static field rock cannot be referenced from a static context. So I need to do final private static. So all of my class variables have to have the word static associated with them in order to be used inside of my static methods. And I'll go back and change that on the slides for the tutorial for the downloaded part. So player 2 dot equals scissors. Let's get this over a little bit so we can see more. So if player 1 equals rock and player 2 equals scissors, that means player 1 wins, right? So I'm going to return player 1 wins, rock beats scissors. So now I want to do the opposite check, right? That if player 2 is rock and player 1 is scissors, then player 2 wins because rock beats paper. So now if player 1 equals paper and player 2 equals rock, then player 1 wins because paper covers rock. And if I copy and paste this, then player 2, player 1, then player 2 wins because paper covers rock, which player 1 has. And if player 1 has scissors, and player 2 has paper, then player 1 wins because scissors cuts paper. Else, return player 2 wins because in this case we're assuming that player 2 will have scissors and player 1 will have paper. Now this method makes a very important assumption, and that is that player 1 and player 2 are only ever set to rock, paper, or scissors. In a later tutorial we'll learn about assertions, where we would be able to check those assumptions, and those assumptions are called preconditions. But for now, we can just assume that the person entering in the player 1 and player 2 values will only ever choose rock, paper, and scissors. So now I want to call this a couple of different times. And I'm just going to follow these different scenarios straightforwardly. So system.out.println, and I'm going to call these in such a way that I expect a tie game, and then player 1, player 2, player 1, player 2, player 1, player 2 type wins. So I'm going to do determine winner, paper, paper, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to call it with rock, scissors, scissors, rock, paper, rock, rock, paper, scissors, paper, paper, scissors. Okay, so now I'm going to do run, run, and paper, rock, scissors. And it did just like I expected. I had a tie game because paper, paper. First, player 1 wins because rock beat scissors. And then player 2 wins because rock beat scissors. Then player 1 wins because paper covers rock. Then player 2 wins because paper covers rock. Player 1 wins because scissors cuts paper. And then player 2 wins because scissors cuts paper. Okay? And that's it. I hope that was helpful.